All right. So we're starting pilot episode of What We Don't Know.
Yet to be named podcast.
Yeah. TBD podcast or video TBD. What we don't know. So we'll start this episode by asking each other these questions that we decided earlier.
These questions.
Right. So I haven't seen the questions yet.
I compiled the questions, so I've seen it, but it's been a really long
But
time. I think it's
really long.
what is it? We can call it fresh for me as well. But yeah,
Uh,
it's supposed to make you ponder. That's the original intent.
right.
Yeah.
So then probably we should just for a minute or so for whoever, whatever it is worth, why are we doing this? If we can each explain why we're doing what we're doing now.
It is like an interview question. Can you tell me about yourself? uh,
Yes. See
so
yourself.
you go, and I'll follow your lead on why are we doing this.
Why I would want to do something like this is to generally document life for the next 15, 20 years. Uh, being in this space now, doing what we're doing, because I think we're in very interesting times,
Right,
and we're also doing very interesting things.
right,
And both of us are self-starters trying to figure out our way in life. We're not employed by somebody else trying to fulfill their dreams. So
right.
they will. So it'll be very exciting for us to generally have this as a place to talk about things and generally discuss stuff, and then generally reflect back upon it. Probably
Right.
few years later, few months later, it'll be interesting to see uh, the path that we've traveled.
The
5 years later,
joining
when
of
we
the
see this,
dots in retrospect.
yeah,
Ah,
correct. Because both of us have had very varied experiences. It's not like we studied engineering and we are engineers and then we live, continue to be engineers like so many other people we know.
correct.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting space to be in. So I think we should document this for whatever it is worth. But keeping this as a side hustle or whatever, I really probably think I would want to put effort in this to see where it goes.
Right.
Like have some kind of rigor in terms of recording probably once a week or twice a week. Every week, weekly episode release. Let it evolve.
Ha, 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 ha.
Let it evolve the way it goes. It's not like a TV channel where we know that there is 8 hours of live programming or whatever that has to be done. We don't know where this technology is going to take us, where we are going to go, how different life is going to be. So it'll be very interesting to see where we are. So this is simply put in the one liner is to document life as it happens, starting today till the day I
From
forget
Ashwin
who I
Raup's
am.
POV, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, before I forget, I would, uh, as cheesy as it sounds or as corny as it sounds, I would not have done this with anybody else other than you.
Beautiful. I will reject cheesy because I'm lactose intolerant. Corny is fine.
Joke number one.
I'm waiting for those jokes. They're like, do you want to call it a journal or do you want to call it a diary? I'm sorry, I'm no dairy because. Okay, to answer my own question, I really wanted to put myself out there. I'm very shy. Do not come in front of the camera. Do not. Uh, uh, Extensively think about building a personal brand or not completely care about what I do. I always have been the behind the scenes guy. Share limelight. It's not you. You have done your work. Just be quiet in one corner. I've been that guy, but I really want to see if there is one kutty pivot that I can do, which kind of helps me also become. Let's step one, like one step out of the comfort zone, and then come back and be like, "Appa." But still, I just one step. I would rather do it here then likewise it'll be easier if you are there as well. So I wouldn't want to do this with anyone else. It just sounds really weird to randomly start a podcast. But
Yeah.
yeah, so this is like very weirdly comfort zone which is helping me come out of comfort zone. So that's the thing. Eventually, we talk a lot about everything in life. Uh, yeah, I just thought documenting that would be helpful to one person at least in the next 100 years somewhere. They're like, that one quote or something, but if it helps, then that's more than enough. That is like
Yeah,
my, where talking about it in terms of our own experience, trying to really, really be someone out of the norm, sticking to it uh, within your own cohort and trying to make it, documenting that would make a lot of sense for others
correct.
who are trying to be this. Yeah, those are the two wise. Um, yeah, those were my reasons. Um,
Mhm.
yeah,
And I think when you say that, to your point, I was thinking, I think as Indians, we like to compete and not collaborate.
yes, we are never a brotherhood. We are
Yeah.
always a rat race.
We're very wary of the other person's journey or success or the projected success or failure.
Yeah,
What they project as success, we look at as failure and vice versa. And
yeah,
I've not seen very. I've seen only the current crop of entrepreneurs or whoever are seeing value in collaborating, talking to each other,
correct.
explaining their problems openly,
Yeah,
and saying, "This is my problem in life. How do you?"
right.
Not behind closed doors doing things and then saying something else outside. I still think that at least I don't know, maybe in South India, other than the Kamath brothers that we've seen who are doing
Yeah,
great stuff, I've not seen anybody else openly discussing
yeah,
things. And we're all working in silos, even in Madras. We all work in silos. Collaboration seems to be a very
yeah,
bad term here where they're thinking you're going to take my business, I'll take your business.
yeah. Or
You're
take
going
over,
to become
your thing, and
correct,
it's
correct,
it's rampant in the creative field, and we know that in advertising or this, if someone comes, it becomes their thing, and it's a credits thing that we have always battled, but no one thinks of it
correct,
as one of the quotes that you had mentioned, no, like rising tide raises all boats. So there is never that idea at all. But yeah,
correct.
agree. Collaboration needs to be. I think nowadays a collab is a word that is so exclusive to YouTube that they think
Yeah,
collabing will increase their audience rather than solving a problem. It's
correct.
it's a thing that has now demonized that word. But yeah, collab should happen. Ideally it should.
Yeah. I think the how they look at collab is how to grow their own
Hmm.
equity for other people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It should be the other way around. You're growing your equity for yourself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What you're doing today should be able to help you 5 years later, not what some random guy sitting in some other flat in his bathroom and scrolling through your reels thinks of who you are, what your family is up to, what clothes you're wearing, what's the skin tone, are you fat, tall, short, rich, dark, poor, quite silly.
All of
Yeah,
those people.
so
Yes.
that is why we have started this. That is why we have started this. And us having run my YouTube channel like Food Chutney definitely will help.
Bare
Oh,
bones.
I don't know, but
Are,
yeah,
are we the early adopters? Yeah, we were. It's genuinely, I've documented my life in terms of how people have saved my name in their contact list. So it is predominantly Abhinav Putchutney, which gives me immense sense of, like, they still remember me from those times. So it is
correct.
there is a way for you to check how your name is saved on WhatsApp. So if you go to contact cards, you will know what and all they have saved. So it's like predominantly mine is Abhinav Puchati, and I'm super proud
Oh,
of
I've
that.
not. I'm hearing this for the first time.
So
Maybe get off
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah. It's
episode
literally
and
profile, and there is one kutty thing called contact card. If you just click on it, you'll see how they've saved it or how it's been shared with others. So yeah, so Abhinav
oh,
Puchati is a good tag to have. Yeah.
yeah, correct, right. So on that note, to start the first episode,
Yes.
the idea was to
Do you want to do rock paper scissors and we'll start? Who
yeah,
asked? Huh.
yeah, why not? So
Wait, we
What do you
flash
think?
on three. We flash on three. So 1, 2, 3, and we
We flash on
we
three and
don't
then.
flash. So 1, 2, 3.
Oh
Uh,
no, this I saw yours before. Oh God, this is getting
the
quite just the
problem of
audio. Somebody's just listening to the audio. That will be
let me pull off my greatest strength of all time. Let's do alphabetical. So I'll go first. I've been
okay.
rolling for one all my life. There is no way anyone beats me. I'm A double B.
Yeah,
So I will
correct.
go first.
Unless there was somebody called Arnav who was A
There
or
was an Amir,
maybe
but we pushed him to B
Amir
section. Huh.
Arnav. Yeah. So, do you want to explain what we're going to do now? Segment 1 of this first episode.
So,
Pilot segment.
I'm going to give a small intro of what this is. These are roughly, I'm going to say what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 60 questions that have been compiled to kind of make you think about your own personality or about the world and kind of ponder and answer it, which in a way where the answer will give us a glimpse of who you are. So the idea is to know more about you in the way you answer these questions. So that's the premise of the way the questions have been set. So if we are good to go, I will start with the first question. How it works is you select a category and I ask a question I want to in that category. So we can pick and choose the categories based on where your headspace is. And then I pick the question, you pick the category. So when I go first, I will ask you what category, then I will ask you a question from that category. Cool beans?
Right. 2 questions I have in this. One is, are you going to ask all the questions in the same category or one question at a time? You
One
ask
question.
me one, I ask you one. You ask one
Yes.
question at a time.
It's alternate.
And what
You ask.
Okay.
It's,
right. So
it's
what
very,
I'm going to do then is I'm not.
do you remember the Friends episode where they have a house quiz? There are 6 categories.
No,
Ross is the quiz master. Okay. I answer. Sorry, I ask you, and then you ask me. We go back and forth.
Right. Okay. But then when I ask you, I'm not going to go through all the questions and then choose a question. I'm just going to see the first question, second question. Otherwise, I'll get to know all the.
Fair enough.
Then I'll know what the other questions are when they are asked to me. It will be
Done.
background processing, and
I'll also follow the same protocol. Let's just go in order.
Yeah.
If some of it may be irrelevant because it was a very generic question, you can just skip to the next one. We can keep track of where.
Yeah. Okay. We'll just see how it goes. Why too many rules is going to spoil it.
Done.
So okay, go ahead. Yeah.
So let me go first. Okay, pick a category. I'm going to name the 6 categories: time travel, superpowers, society, dualettes, reflection, nostalgia. Pick one.
What is
and
dualettes?
You want to do dualettes? Okay.
No, what is dualettes?
Dualettes is questions about ironies of life. It's about decisions or stuff that you have gone through, which are either ironical or it was very difficult moral choice for you to make. It's about you picking between 1 or 2 choices and how that choice has made you who you are. So those are dualettes. Dualettes is when given a chance to do this or that, what will you do or why did you pick those?
In that, you have a set of questions.
Yes. Basic, yeah.
Okay. Sorry. So we have time travel, superpowers. I'm only seeing the titles. I'm not seeing the questions.
Yeah.
Time travel, superpower, society, dualettes,
reflection,
nostalgia. We'll start with dualettes.
Beautiful. Okay. So the first question for Mr. Ashwin Rao is, what is one of the dumbest decisions that you've made in life?
What is one of the dumbest decisions I've made in life? I can't think of anything quickly. Does that make me generally dumb that I can't even discern what was right and what was wrong? Because he's so dumb, he can't even answer this question. What's the question?
One is, if you want, I can answer my own question, or I can give you nudges, or I can give you certain, I don't know, like life milestones for you to ponder around.
Okay.
By the way, I have lost you. Your video is gone.
Oh, but God.
It says that recording high quality, so I'm going to anyways continue this conversation. But yeah, so do you want me to question or do you want nudges?
No, so dumbest. I don't know if I've made any the one. I don't know if it's dumb, but
Right.
probably in hindsight. Again, all these things are only they all operate only in
Yes.
hindsight.
Yeah.
But for me, we bought a property in Coimbatore about 10 years back. We
Okay.
bought land and then we built 3 houses and all that. At that point in time, it felt like the right thing to do. But now, uh, when I look back, it was like quite dumb. It's
Right.
outside the city. It's about a half an hour away from the city, and we had to build 3 houses there, and we built it, and we pay an EMI, and half the time the houses are empty because of again they're far away from the city, and development has not been as great as we all thought it would be. So in
Right.
hindsight, that was a obviously there's appreciation. So again, I can't 100% say that it was a dumb decision, but currently it feels like a decision that was dumb because there is a EMI of about 50, 60 grand going, but there's no return on the investment in terms of rental or whatever. So yeah,
Okay.
I mean, yeah, not yeah. That
Can
will be
I
my
can I
answer.
ask you a follow-up question?
Yeah.
Sometimes dumb can be regretful. Is this regretful or not regretful?
Again, all this operates in hindsight. Today, if you ask me, I'll say regretful.
Okay.
Today, I'll say regretful. But if suddenly things went well and then there was rental income pouring in, and in a
Right.
year there is a shift in the way that property is being looked at, or randomly suddenly some big
Right.
SEZ is coming up in that area,
Right.
the government decides to build the second airport there. I'm just randomly saying things.
Yeah. 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 Fair.
Something
Yeah.
like that happens. Suddenly the land value increases by 50, 60 lakhs.
Yeah.
And then it feels like, oh, this is the best decision I made in my life.
Understood. Okay.
But again, those are all external factors
Yes. In
operating from the idea that this is completely internal. I wanted to buy a house. I bought it there. I made that decision. I invested that money. I
right.
pay the EMI. When I completely internal, it seems wrong. But because of external factors, if it does well, then again,
Right.
that is an incorrect way of looking at it.
Understood. Okay. Fair enough. I think at this present moment of time, it feels like a dumb decision.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. I leave one more choice to you. Do you want me to answer it, or shall I pick a category?
Are you saying you want to answer the same question?
Yeah. If I can.
Yeah, it makes sense for us to actually answer the question. So, I mean, then we can do that then. If you can have the choice. You can either answer the same question or you can pick something else. Whatever works for you.
I have a very good answer for this, which I even yesterday I regretted. So if you want, I can answer that question.
Your connection
You're,
is
you're,
slightly
you're
bad, but I'm
frozen.
hoping that the final thing will be okay.
Yeah. I'm waiting for you to pop up back on
Your
the screen
connection
and
is,
give me some
I think I lost you.
response of expression, so I know whether you want to hear my answer or should I just move on.
I can't, all this while I couldn't hear anything that you said.
Okay.
Now I can. Now it's clear.
So the question is, I have an answer that I even yesterday I was thought of and regretting. I can answer that, or I can pick category. I leave it to you. It's a really it's
No, go ahead. Go ahead. If it makes sense. I mean, the idea is that if it helps build the conversation and
yeah. Cool.
if they tie together, then why not? Yeah.
I really think giving up cricket has been the dumbest decision of my life. I'm talking about professional cricket. I genuinely used to be a very good cricketer, but in school, I don't know what happened to me. I'm going to call it puberty. That it made me question all my choices. And then I decided, no, cricket is not for me. I genuinely thought I was great at it. I got a scholarship. I played for one of the biggest clubs here in Chennai. But then I don't know what happened in like eighth, ninth standard. I decided to give it up and concentrate on studies, which I genuinely did. But I should have. I don't know. I just became lazy, I think, or I don't know. Something happened to me, but that was the dumbest decision for me to not even have or discuss it with anyone. I just was so stubborn. And giving up cricket is that was my I think that's the dumbest decision of my life. I would have at least tried to be somebody. But yeah, that's which
Correct. Yeah. Actually, if you give this question little more thought. Now I realize, looking at your answer, even I learned Carnatic music for about 10 years,
Right.
and then I gave it up.
Right.
I
It's
Yeah, so that is definitely something that not only is dumb in retrospect, but was dumb at that time also. But at that point in time, it didn't feel anything because my parents were like, "You have to study. This can't take up
right.
more
Yeah,
time
yeah,
than
yeah.
whatever it is."
Those goody things I realized
There are,
if
yeah,
that's when I crave, like, if only I had either discussed or had a mentor, which weren't parents,
yeah,
because it could have changed our life so drastically. It's one of
correct,
those, could have been Serena Williams, but
correct,
didn't, one of those things. But
correct.
okay,
Yeah,
cool.
right.
I'm ready. I'll pick one.
Yeah,
I'm not seeing the questions. I'm just picking one right out of memory, which is nostalgia.
nostalgia. Okay, I'm going to ask you the first question in nostalgia.
Ah.
Is there anyone from your childhood that you wish you had befriended but didn't? I'm going to repeat. Is there anyone from your childhood that you wish you had befriended but you didn't? Who is that one friend that you did not make? I'm telling myself, I'm making myself understand the question.
I don't know. Quickly, my brain goes to how much of value add that would have person done in my life. It's become very
Yeah, yeah,
transactional.
yeah.
I'm
Transaction.
not just for friends' sake. I'm thinking, who did I miss out being friends on?
This just says childhood, so it could even be
Yeah,
college. It doesn't necessarily have to be childhood, right?
I don't know. I
I
don't have
think the
answer.
idea of this. Hmm?
Yeah, it's. I feel like my brain goes towards, oh, is that person like a celebrity today? Did I regret not saying hi to them in some? I feel
Yeah,
like my mind is going there, and not just purely of friendship for friendship. Like if I were
correct.
their friend, I would
I
have
think,
helped them in
yeah, yeah.
life.
I think this question also serves
Yeah.
that. Uh,
Uh,
this question also serves that point of. That's why I think it's saying childhood also because at that point in time, nothing was transactional.
correct,
So
correct.
at that point in time,
I
you wouldn't have thought of it on those terms.
correct, correct.
When things were
For
not thought of in those terms, who was it?
Yeah, now it feels like very selfish. Okay, I have an answer for this, which is basically what I genuinely believe in. I had a fantastic set of friends in school, and I am genuinely who I am because of my set of friends in school. But I completely regret not keeping in touch with them. I am not in touch with them, but we have had a ball of a time while we were in school,
Yeah.
and maybe we just lost touch after 10th or after 12th. But yeah, I would love to just keep in touch with all of them. They were a brilliant bunch of extremely smart, intelligent kids who kind of knew how to have fun. But yeah, I don't regret not being friends with anyone, but I regret not keeping in touch. So that is my answer, if it makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. Do
That
you, do you
actually
want
makes
to?
sense also for me to answer the question. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a very, I think my answer is more or less like your answer. I can't think of
Yeah.
anybody like that now. Because also of the fact
Ca-
that I grew up in Kuwait.
Oh yeah, you correct, correct. Yeah, it was a completely different
So,
concept for you.
yeah, so after we came back to India, there was no way to keep in touch with at least 60 or 70% of them because we had no clue then.
Yep.
We left under war circumstances. So
Correct,
it
correct,
was
correct.
not like we had like a farewell and then we left and we exchanged phone numbers or whatever on a slam book or whatever.
You left on welfare instead of farewell. Because
Yeah. Joke number two. So our strike rate is about
right,
two jokes, one
one in
joke for
every
every
10
15
minutes.
minutes, which is okay.
Can I twist the question a little bit?
So because of that,
Sorry,
yes.
sorry, finish.
No, that's what. So those formative years, the friends that I had, those memories are there, but then I can't remember their names. I don't know where. Even now, I don't know where they are. Many of them. Like there was one friend who his name was Muhammad.
Right.
I would. So I don't know if this is how you wanted to twist the question, but when I think of this person, I ask myself, who is that one person who you friended, who you befriended, that
Huh.
you'd want to reach out to today,
Yeah.
that you
Okay.
didn't have the time to spend with? What was you? What were you going to ask?
The,
Oh,
the my question was a little bit more uh, of a very young love thing. Like, who do you regret not approaching, or who you think could have been something but didn't? But yeah, this makes more sense. We'll actually shout out to our old friends instead of trying to
yeah.
convince
So
to
no,
huh.
that I don't know. That again, because when it approaches the opposite gender, and that
Huh.
it becomes more of a give and take thing,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
then it becomes transactional.
Correct. Okay.
But
So let's keep it pure
I'm
nostalgia. Huh.
yeah, pure, just that childhood friendship, when
Huh.
friendship just meant seeing each other and
Right.
playing with each other, hugging each other, running
Yeah.
around with each other. There was this friend called Muhammad in Kuwait.
Huh.
So again, because we were in Kuwait, it was a tight knit place where only Indians used to be friends with each other.
Correct.
Only
Correct.
Tamils, only people in very small circle, which we made smaller and smaller with some overlap of
Right.
religion and all that. But again, see, at that point in time, we had to find some overlap. Otherwise, it was a very difficult place to live in the Gulf. In the
Correct.
1980s, was not a nice place to live
Correct.
for us, because we had friends. It was nice. Otherwise, for parents, it was nothing else to do.
Yeah.
At least in India, you could go to one grandfather's house, grandmother's house, go to your village native there. There's nothing. There's sand everywhere. So there was this friend whose name was Muhammad. Now, when I think of it, I don't know if he was Indian or Pakistani or Bangladeshi. He was a friend who, for my birthday, wrapped a He-Man
Huh.
figurine
Oh,
in
nice.
newspaper and gifted it to me in
Huh.
school.
Okay.
And then in the evening, he came to my house crying,
Okay.
saying that my mother asked me to bring that back.
Oh, damn. The ultimate self-sacrifice for a boy back then, which is to give his toy. Yeah. Oh,
And he
man.
took it back.
Right.
So that memory is in my core.
What a legend, Muhammad. I know if you
Muhammad,
say
yeah,
Muhammad, it means almost close to a billion people, but that Muhammad
correct.
is
Yeah, I
legend.
mean, yeah. What are the chances of you meeting a guy called Muhammad in Kuwait? So that memory is etched in my heart, and after that, I couldn't. Uh, Now I don't know. I don't know who he is, where he is, what he's up to. So
Very
yeah, so is there anyone from my childhood I wish, yeah, I had befriended, but I didn't know. But I have this person in my childhood who I befriended, but I didn't get to know well or couldn't keep in touch with.
right.
So yeah, nice memory to have
Yeah.
brought out again. Okay, so time check,
We are at 2:30,
2:30. Excellent,
or
great. We're
for
good,
the
good rate.
protocol of the video, we are 30 minutes in.
We're 30 minutes in. Okay, so now it's your turn to ask me a question, or my turn to ask?
Yeah, you have to pick a category. I'm going to repeat the categories
I
once
have to.
more.
Yeah.
Time
Okay, go
travel,
ahead. I'm not looking at it.
superpowers, society, dualettes, reflection, nostalgia.
Reflection.
You want to go to reflection. Okay. The first question, reflection, is what is a perspective others have of you that you have trouble seeing, understanding, or digesting?
Repeat. Sorry.
What perspective of others, sorry, and I'm going to repeat it. What perspective of you do others have that you know of, but are finding it difficult to digest, understand, or kind of see it from their POV, their judgment of you, or their definition of you, or their when they talk about you, the way they talk about you. Like, what surprised you, what can't you digest, or what do you think they've gotten it wrong, or
Nice question. I've thought of this not exactly in terms of the question, but otherwise in life, because again, like, this is all about me, me, myself kind of thing. But
the category is called reflection. Please reflect.
No, it goes to that narcissism space which I despise. So after stand up happened, Put Chutney happened, films happened, all that happened. Even though I've only scratched the surface in everything, not reached anywhere in any of them. When people somehow there is this thing that I'm a celebrity.
Okay.
As odd as that sounds,
Right.
or I'm famous, or I'm whatever. That doesn't.
You don't get that view. You
I
don't
don't
get
get that view because I know I've hardly done anything.
Okay.
Again, this sounds like this is
Why
how
are you
like Dhanush will be.
bragging?
So very
I was
so
just
humble he is.
how dare you?
So even though in your mind, even if you underachieved in those
Right.
Fields, especially in these fields where achievement is just off the charts with respect to
Yeah.
your peers.
Yeah.
You know, with stand up or being a YouTuber or being a comedian or being an actor, having done hardly anything.
Right.
Suddenly, how people. So, this is more about my pondering over how people's attitude changes the moment they see you on screen.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. Can you hear me? Your video is stuck. Yeah. So, it doesn't matter how big or small you are. Just the fact that they saw you on stage, they say saw you on YouTube, they saw you in a theater, on screen.
Right.
That's
If
all matters.
you're not able to figure out why they are now thinking differently of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in my heart, I know I've hardly done anything. It's not like I've achieved success. I can't say I'm successful in anything.
Right. Okay.
Joining the dots is being the only to be
Right.
able to join dots is being the only success in life rather than doing anything within those dots. But I'm considering it as a journey, so I think the success lies
Yeah. Right.
as a part of the journey and not a destination or whatever. But yeah, what I can't understand is when people say that and then I don't know how to react and I'll have an awkward expression and
That is it like a kutti knife that they pierce on you while they say, "Oh, you've become a celebrity," or like, "Shit, Ashwin Rao, you've become a celebrity." You know, it's
it is
very.
the second one. It is
Huh.
more or less the second one because I don't have any. I mean, I've never led an envious life for anybody to
Right. Yeah.
either be jealous or envious. I've never. Yeah. That reminds me. I've read the nice definition of the difference between jealousy and envy. You know that? What is the
No.
difference between jealousy and envy?
No idea. No idea.
So, envy is you being envious of somebody. You envy somebody for who they are, but you're who. Wait, I'm just trying to figure it. It is very nice. So, jealousy is something when uh, you're jealous of. You're jealous when you're scared somebody will take away what you have. You're
Okay.
envious if somebody else has what you don't have.
Okay. Understood. Okay. You're jealous that they will take something that you have. You're envious because you want something that they have.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is the difference. If you're when you're envious, no, you're not scared that they'll take away something that you have.
Okay. Understood. You just want to be them, or rather, what if?
Yeah.
Huh.
That I think I'm saying it right, but then I had remembered it more clearly. But that's what it is. It was very nice. Yeah. So it is more the other one, so which makes it even more confusing for me. I'm like, why? There is nothing. It's but yeah. Then you so how it in what way it works for me is to be grateful of what has happened.
Right.
To
Right.
have been able to be on stage, to have been able to run a YouTube channel, to have been able to be a small part of such big films.
Poly had basically.
It could have been anybody.
Right.
all those three films could have been anybody. Literally, it wasn't anything that uh, I worked for or anything. It just fell in my lap,
Right.
and yeah. So that way, you see it, then you realize that that's why when all these celebrities say it's all love, it's so much love. People give me so much love. It is genuinely that.
Right, 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 right.
Okay, now
Uh,
your turn.
I want to answer this question by doing the exact opposite, where if I get to know what other people think about me, I will not have a good night's sleep. I want to completely ignore. I just want to be in my own space, saying whatever you think about me, you keep it. I mean, I'm too
Yeah,
fragile, or to I don't have the confidence to tell them, it's what is it? It's your opinion, bro. I can't do that. It's very difficult.
correct.
But yeah. Okay, so I have to choose a category. I'm going to choose
You have.
time travel. I'm going to make it a
Let
little
me
more
just.
wacky.
Yeah, it's getting very
But
philosophical.
this is where it'll be very philosophically, very, very. Okay.
Already, it's that way.
Oh,
Where are you saying time travel? No.
time travel.
Okay. First question in time travel is, if you could go back in time, obviously,
Obviously.
and anonymously tell your mother or father one piece of advice about raising you, what would it be? If you could go back in time
Huh.
and anonymously tell your mother or father one piece of advice about raising you, what would it be? I already know my answer.
Uh, I mean, they did a fantastic job, but I would want to. Um, how do I put this without sounding like a douchebag? Okay. Uh, I would want them to have pushed me harder even when I told them I wanted to stop. Like, with the sense of positivity rather than like aggression, like not being a helicopter parent, but just be like, make me sit and explain, saying, if you do this, imagine this life. If you do this, imagine this life. Try out more, do different things. I just wanted that little nudge from them whenever I made a stupid decision, or I made a normal decision. Yeah, I would just whisper them, saying, like, taunt him more, like, make it more salesy for him to understand this decision is better than that decision types. Yeah.
Could that have been cricket? Could
Yeah,
they
yeah.
have? Could they have?
Yeah. It could definitely could have been cricket, because because I joined cricket out of my interest in it. It wasn't like my parents asking me to have one extracurricular thing that our children should do types. It wasn't that. I know that I was very good at cricket. I wanted it to be. I wanted a professional coach. I got a good coach. I, I got a full paid scholarship, one of the top schools in Chennai, but I didn't go because I was like, I can't leave my friends. It was such a stupid decision. I had a full paid scholarship to the top cricket schools in Chennai, and I don't know what I'm like. I can't leave my friends, and only if I was so stupid, if my parents just said, just take a breather, just think about it. You're being sponsored. No kid is gonna get full paid fees for for playing cricket. If I just told me, like, yeah, it could have been related to cricket. The
Uh-huh.
rest, I think, I kind of took my own decisions, but yeah.
But as a follow up to that,
Huh.
do you? Why do you think they didn't push you when they knew that you had this talent? Were they being the proper middle class
Yeah,
parents,
yeah,
knowing that anyway he has to go do engineering and this is all
yeah.
going to be a hobby?
It's a mix of two things, which I genuinely think is not their fault. One is that they even now they are a little bit of a safe, both of them being very safe jobs, both of them having a career which is 35 to 40 years. Like, for them, PF is something that I don't know, is it a joy? I'm like, okay, fine. So for them it is like, okay, be a little safe in your choices. And second is, they both of them were working and they were genuinely busy, and they didn't have the time to harp on every little thing that me and my brother were going through. And I think it was a mix of both. uh, and I was a very alone kid. I was all by myself all the time.
Hmm,
So
hmm,
I just
hmm.
kept everything to myself. But if out of the blue, like a miracle, who in most dire straits, Han Solo comes and saves Luke Skywalker. Like if they had just come and appeared, it would have been it would have been a great moment. But yeah, fine. So I just if I can just tell them if
Yeah.
he's locked in his room for too long, he's making stupid life decisions. Just go and just disturb him. Yeah, I would definitely do.
Correct. Yeah.
What is your answer? Because you had like a ready-made answer. You had it ready.
Yeah, yeah. I would have just gone and let him be.
Okay. Huh.
That's all. Because that's what everybody now. Because my parents sort of wanted validation for what I was doing in life after
Okay.
I quit IT.
Oh, okay.
Because I wasn't a great student. I was average or below average. I didn't have the eligibility to get into an engineering college after 12th. Because
Right.
after CBSE 12th, you need to have 60% in maths, physics, and chemistry. I
Ah.
got 43 in maths out of 100
Okay. Okay. Okay.
and
Okay.
some 50 something in physics. So I didn't have eligibility.
Right.
So then I had to do but even then, the end goal for my parents did not budge. When
Right.
when a river course corrects, it still says, no, I have to go there only. It has to end there. It can't end anywhere else. It doesn't matter what happens in the short term, but the end goal
Right.
is that. So I had to join a polytechnic for 2 years, which
Right.
was really like a drop for my parents,
Right.
It was the most like a black mark. My father said it's a
Yeah.
black
Yeah. Yeah.
mark in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
And those 2 years, they didn't take me anywhere out, and they would lie to other people saying that I'm in first year engineering
Huh. Huh.
because I had to do second year and third year of polytechnic,
Correct.
and
And
that
then,
gave me the eligibility automatically to join engineering.
you join in second year of engineering.
So I joined, yeah, from 12th standard to second year polytechnic, from polytechnic to second year engineering.
Right.
So for a good 1 year, which was the second year of my polytechnic, technically would have been the first year of engineering.
Yeah. Understood. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that 1 year, my parents would tell everybody that I'm first year engineering in St. Joseph's, first year engineering in St. Joseph's. So by mistake, somebody's son would be in St. Joseph's. They're going to say, my son also. So that 1 year was it was the most, I won't say depressing, but those 2 years were difficult for me in life.
Right. Right. Very reality check.
Yeah. Reality check. Yeah. But then those 2 years I did very well.
Okay.
First rank, second rank, third rank, gold medal, this cash prize, that award, this award.
Huh.
In polytechnic, it was hardly anything.
Right.
Polytechnic wasn't too hard at all.
Right.
Yeah. So
Then you
if they
entered.
just let me be, if they let me be, probably I would have been better at something else.
That let me be is so ironic because you joined St. Joseph because they will never let you be. Whatever
Correct.
you have to eat there, everything is them. It's just, yeah.
Correct. They'll never let you be. Because
Yeah.
I remember when I was in the 8th or the 9th, I got this short service commission from service commission to the army.
Army. Yeah.
I wanted to join the army after, I think, it was after the 10th or something, you can join the short service commission, or 12th or whatever. I think it was 10th.
Okay.
That short service commission is 5 years, and after that, you can choose whether you want to continue with the army or not. That was the first career kind of move that I made in my life. So then, after I didn't have engineering eligibility, I told my mother, put me in culinary school.
Correct.
Because I love cooking.
Right.
And I've been cooking for my parents since the 5th, 6th, 7th standard. Now, when my mother was not well,
Right.
I would cook. When my father came, I would cook. And proper meals, full meal, I could cook for like 6 people to sit in. So she also knew that. Heart of heart, she also knew that I would do well there. But again, everything was around what will people say.
Right. Yeah.
So when I say I would have told my parents, let him be, it would have been 2 levels. One was let him do what he wants. Number 2, put him first, not society first.
Yeah. Let him be number
Don't
one.
put society. Yeah, don't put society first, assuming what will they say if my son does this.
Right.
Let my son do it and then see what.
Right.
That is a mistake Indian parents make. They always put society first and then their children second.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So because it would have taken so many other dots would have emerged.
Correct.
Probably I would have just stuck to being a chef, or
Correct.
just stuck to being in
I,
the army, or just
I,
stuck to
I
being a musician, or
still remember during one very low point at Putchetney, your brain immediately went, "Can I just go join culinary school?" Where
yeah,
you were thinking of having I don't know what this. I forgot the name of the school, but there was a branch in Thailand. It's a very
Blue
famous.
Elephant,
No.
Le
Culinary school.
Cordon Bleu.
That one. Ha.
Yeah, Thailand
So,
has its own thing called the Blue Elephant, which is also equally good.
ha.
Le Cordon Bleu
So
is extremely expensive, but yeah, that
it
was something that I always wanted to do.
like our brain immediately went to comfort
Correct,
zone. Let me.
correct,
Fair enough.
correct. So that is that.
Time travel was no. Uh, it's a trick question. Okay, pick. We finished time travel. Okay, we have superpowers. We have society. We have these two which we have not kind of explored. Do you want to pick one of these two, superpowers or society?
What is your superpower to change society?
The
Let's go to society.
column will crash in that sheet. Once again. You want to go society?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, it's a beautiful question. What is that one adversity everybody should face, according to you?
This is under society. No?
Yeah.
What is that one adversity everybody should face in life? We've all led privileged lives. Anything that we say will just sound very,
Yeah.
what's the word?
Privileged.
Privileged. Yeah. I mean, I can only think of it from my own terms. We've never
Yeah.
gone
It's,
hungry a day, or never not
yeah.
had money, not
Yeah.
lived in our own house. Never. I was born when there was a car at home. Air conditioning was there.
Right.
So we're extremely privileged that way.
Right.
But I can't say you should go without money. You
Yeah.
should be hungry for a week. அதெல்லாம் சொல்லலாம் ஈஸியா.
Yeah.
But yeah, from my own privileged upbringing, I would say everybody should go through some moment in life when they realize that they are responsible for their actions.
Right.
That moment of realization has to happen
Right. Which
through some way or the other.
a lot of people have because of hostel life. Like hostel life completely changes them. Or like dealing with your own problems without your parents or your actual
Yeah, correct.
people to support you close to. I think everybody's my answer is just an extension of that. Live alone or live or have a equivalent of an hostel life when you were young, because number one,
Correct.
you will get to know yourself. You will know this is my limit, this is my breaking point, and you will genuinely solve for problems rather than just cribbing and ranting and calling everybody for advice. You just trying to
Correct.
become more independent. So I just thought
Correct.
everyone be alone for a while, uh,
Yeah.
without and uh, like what they call adulting, like do adulting, not to make it sound
Yeah.
raunchy, but yeah, um,
Yeah. So
live alone, not live alone, but
live
don't
alone.
be lonely.
Yeah,
Just,
neither is an adversity at any level, but
yeah.
the ultimate truth would be, I don't know what. It differs for people.
Hmm.
Yeah. But I think the most difficult thing will be to be without money.
Yeah, that's definitely. Yeah, even though a lot of people say, um, like follow happiness, or there is a thing where everyone says follow passion, and passion will pay you, but they're like, no, passion will never pay you. It's don't follow your passion, follow your efforts. Where you're willing to put effort, follow that
Correct.
line. Uh, there
There
is
you
a
are.
For lack of sounding too geeky, uh, for the risk of sounding too geeky, I'm going to mention this. There is a beautiful paper where a journalist had written a satirical scientific paper where he claims happiness to be a mental disease, It's beautiful.
Huh.
It's beautiful because it says you happiness is fleeting. If it comes too often, there is something wrong with your brain. Instead of looking for happiness, look to have tenacity, look to lower your expectation, look to have having perseverance. Your life will be way better. Do not go behind happiness, which is the
Hmm.
opposite of the narrative that is happening, where do things that make you happy, do things
Correct.
that brings you joy. A Mary Kondo thing, but yeah. So
Spark joy.
yeah,
Just to spark
that's
joy in my life for now. Let's just spin spark joy. No, throw it. You really threw
there's a lighter spark joy. No, it just sparks. Sorry.
it.
um, okay, then can I take the superpower
Yeah.
and you can ask me the question?
You're taking superpower. So I'm going to
Yeah,
ask you the first question on the superpower. Superpower question number one. You can pick one person that you can shape shift into
ha,
each night,
ha.
but it has to be the same person each night. Who would it be? I repeat, you can pick one person that you can shape shift into each night, but it has to be the same person and each night. Who would it be? So this is only a night thing, what?
Is
The
it a
shape
sex?
shifting ends in the morning.
uh,
It's a nocturnal shape shifting thing. In the morning, you'll shape shift back to
yeah,
reality.
I don't want to sound intelligent in this. I really want to uh, shapeshift into a person who literally sleeps like a baby. I really miss my 10 to 8 o'clock sleep. I used to sleep
Mm.
really, really well.
Mm.
Someone with no worries can sleep. Please, I want to be that person. For the intellectual stimulation, I would want to sleep like George Carlin or anyone because uh, all my life I want people to tell me like he was smart. Like for me, that is George Carlin. Like he was damn smart. So I would want like George Carlin, John Stewart. I have always been like the like how can one person be so smart, so intelligent, so interesting? So if the intellectual answer would be I want to be one of those guys, but the actual answer is I want beautiful sleep from 10 to 8 where I miss sleeping well without any tension. If I can shape shift into them at 9:59 every day, great. We can do one more round of sexual answers also.
Shape shift into each person, into one person. Oh, so it's not like a superhero. It has to be an actual person.
Yeah, yeah, like yeah, the power is you.
Superpower is in shape shifting, not becoming a superhero. But if I had to answer that question, and if I had to shape shift into one person, I would want to shape shift into the person who cleans our streets.
Why? Because they are awake the whole night. No?
I would want to be one of them
Huh.
because they do such a bad job during the day.
I would do that job better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would just because just I think that just if your surroundings in the city is clean, so many other problems will get solved by themselves.
right, right.
Just if the because from here to like a few 3 kilometer radius, I see is the most problems that I see are in that cleanliness space.
Right, right. Basic hygiene of
There
the
are
neighbor. Hmm.
internet wires hanging from the trees. If they were in a loop and a bike was going and got caught in his neck, gone.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And always, I don't know why they always keep the garbage cans at the turning of the road. So you can't see who is coming. And if you crash, you go crash into the garbage can. And if that garbage van is there, the garbage can is there, the van has to stop blocking the road.
Correct, correct.
So that one mistake causes so many other mistakes. So
It's
I would just be this, I would shape shift into this conservation worker. And just this Mandavil area, I'll go correct everything and come back and swim.
rule it like iron fist, basically.
Yeah, I just clean up everything, cut all the wires in the night. You just go cut all the extra wires, arrange the garbage vans, make them clean, keep the surroundings clean, and come back. Sorry, you have to. I'm just going to pause. Okay, my
Yeah.
dog is here and he wants to go down. How do I
Huh.
pause?
Yes. Okay.
So we've done one question each in every category.
Yes. The
Is
first
that
question
right?
in the category, yes.
The first question in every category. So I don't know if this is what is going to be the next 10 episodes. Second question in every
You can
category.
easily
Third
make 10
question.
episodes out of this.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, but
Nobody's
ideally
nobody's what.
this automatically will become clips, and also we can one of those do OG YouTube prompts. Give your answers down below.
Yeah. So with that, we are coming to an end of this first episode of Who Knows What is the name of the podcast.
I have a question. I have a question for you. Do you know why it is called a pilot?
Do you know why it's called a pilot? Does it have something to do with when these people walk? The pilot is the first person leading the
There is a
pilot car is the first one.
there is a joke. There is a real answer. I don't know the real answer. The joke is, let's hope it takes off. That's the joke.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
Yeah. Um, yes.
Hmm.
Please continue your conclusion.
Yeah.
Huh.
So we've answered. So yeah. I mean, we didn't start anything to conclude.
No,
We just
I was very
randomly.
surprised. I didn't know the Polytechnic, even though I know you for so many years. I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know. Huh.
Correct.
Because I just remember St. Joseph's. I
Correct.
didn't know. Okay,
Correct. Yeah.
great.
Weird 2 years. Very weird 2 years. Many of the classmates there were proper rowdies.
Oh, who are there again to? There's no other option for them, and they are there to.
They've been just forced into because they couldn't find admission anywhere else,
Right.
and they were not there to study. They were just there to
Yeah.
be out of home for 8 hours, where they can also try and sneak out. But
Yeah.
that was my that was sort of like when it's sort of romanticizing it. But then when this Gautama Buddha went to see the real world, no, that was for us again privileged upbringing. Where are you seeing those people? I got to
Right.
meet them, and then I realized that's when that's what interlinks it with my other answer of when you know that you're responsible for your actions.
Ah,
If they had known then, their lives would have been so different. They still had that chance.
correct.
They were
Correct.
in that polytechnic at that point in time. Though
Right.
they might have been rowdies or they were trying to be rowdies or 21 years என்ன rowdy.
Right. Yeah.
19 வயசுல உனக்கு என்ன rowdy?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if that realization comes, I think nice. So that is the end of this first episode. We still haven't come up with a name
To be
for
decided.
the
To
episode.
be decided.
To be
We should run
decided.
podcast for 1,000
TBD.
episodes. Where you just say in the next episode
To
we
be
will decide
decided.
the name.
Next episode. If there is a next episode, we will decide on a name. TBD. TDB. Michael Scott. Yeah.
Srinagar Panagal Park is one of those.
Srinagar. Prince Jewel. Pangal Park, Chennai. So yeah, let's see where this goes. It's nice to have.
Let's- what is it? Yeah, send me the link. I want to review it. I want to show it to
Yeah.
one particular person who is going to laugh.
Personality.
Audience,
Yeah.
who's now sneaking into the bathroom to laugh at me. But I shall officially show her the video.
So we'll upload this. We'll edit it, and I'm not going to edit it much. I'm just going to upload it as it is.
Yeah. As is.
So as is. So yes, a juvenile joke. That has to happen.
Yeah.
So if there's anybody watching, if somebody stumbles upon this, how we are going to stumble upon it, I don't know. We're not even giving it a name. How people will stumble upon it, I don't know.
If you search for zero view videos on YouTube, if our video comes
Correct.
up,
Least watched videos on YouTube has to be the first. Maybe that should be the name. Least watched podcast. Least watched LWP. Least watched podcast about nothing. LWPAN. Anyway, so if anybody is watching, if you think of a nice name, let us know.
yeah.
Comment down in the section below.
Or you also tweet it out and expect us to stumble upon
Yeah, correct. We can tweet it out. No, oh God, this marketing bit I can never get my head around.
It's
Yeah, let's see.
stumble upon
Stumble upon.
avalanche. Wherever, whatever we do, hope people stumble upon.
Yeah, let's see if anybody watches this and let's see who the first comment is. First comment will be first comment. Like back in our YouTube days, it was first comment used to be first comment, second used to be second comment. Anyway, so you go ahead
Cool.
and I'm going
Please.
to stop the recording. Thank
You.
you for the first episode. See you in the next episode if there is one. Nandri
Oh,
Vanakkam.
thank you.
Okay,
But
bye.